So my last bullet journaling video went over better than I expected it to, so I decided to make another one. This is specifically for students. And the first bullet journaling spread I have is a semester at a glance. When I was in high school, I called this a master log because my school wasn't on semesters, we were on quarters, so it just didn't make sense to call it a semester at a glance, I guess. You'll see on the upper left that I started on August 26th, and that's because it's my first day of classes. So I don't start this on the first of the month or on a Monday. I start it on my very first day of classes, and you'll see when I flip over to the next page that I end it on my last day of classes. What I'm doing here is just writing out all the days, and I do a little colored dot for Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm doing a colored dot for 8, 9, 10, so August, September, October, I'll do November, December on the next page. And those dots that I do for the weekend are just because it's easier than writing Sunday through Saturday next to each number, because I know Saturday comes before Sunday, and then the 5 days in between are the weekdays. So it simplifies things. You'll see here that it would simplify things a lot more if I planned ahead and used a pencil, because you'd think after all these years of not only bullet journaling, but being alive and, knowing how numbers work, I would know how to count, but I don't. So I messed this up, and I ended up with 3 or 4 weekends there. But that's just kind of how things go sometimes. And one thing I've learned through bullet journaling is, actually 2 things. One is that you'll make mistakes, like there's no doubt about it. You are going to mess up sooner or later. And the other thing I've learned is that generally when I make mistakes like that, I tend not to flip back to them and really dwell on them. They don't bother me that much. I just kind of let it go. So I would suggest that you try to do that too. It's not a huge deal, trust me. And here in a sec, I'll be showing you some of my past master logs or semesters at a glance. And I think it's really interesting to look back on these because the style that I've used on them has definitely changed. I used to do sort of a color code or highlighting, and it was just kind of overcomplicated. And yes, please enjoy this. It's really bad. Ugh, the camera shake. I can't. Yeah, that wasn't good. Me trying to be an artsy YouTuber, obviously not the move there. And here I'm just showing off on my old bullet journals. I have many. So this is from the second semester of my first year of college, and you can see I didn't write a ton in there. I filled it up, but I certainly didn't use it a lot, and it's all in black pen. Oh, on the right there is an unfinished quote page. So yeah, those are pretty simple, pretty minimal. That's basically what I'm hoping to do this semester. This was the last semester of high school. You can see I did a little more highlighting there, a little more color coding, I guess. And then this is my first semester of my senior year. You can see I did a lot of highlighting there. I did one color for extracurriculars, another color for breaks. Kind of more complicated and more filled out too because I had more busy work in high school. And then this was a lot more colorful. I used a different color for each class, which was kind of helpful when I was looking at it. It can make it a little bit harder to fill out because you have to remember, oh yeah, pink is for English or whatever. I did the same thing here. So kind of useful, maybe not worth the extra brain power it takes to fill out. I don't know, that's a personal choice. I did it once. This was the very first one I did, so as you can see I separated assignments and then tests and quizzes. And this was pretty helpful, but the reason that I keep it more minimalistic now is because I just don't have as much to write down being in college. Though this is a pretty classic spread, I feel like everyone in college has one of these. I never felt the need to do it in high school because my timetable didn't change. I was at school from 6 a.m. to like 3, so it never really changed. But now that I'm in college, it's a lot more exciting. So I'm filling out my classes here, just coloring them in. This took a long time. I don't know if it would be necessarily worth it for you, but if you're looking to kill some time, or just throw in some music and color, I guess. It's not a bad way to spend your time. So here I am, just writing in timetable at the top and adding some little serif caps to the edges of the letters to make it a little more fancy, I guess. So the next spread I'm making is a little class information table. As you can see here, I'm writing and erasing and rewriting the headers with a pencil and an eraser. I highly suggest doing this so you can get the spacing right before you write it in ink, because ink is not erasable, as you saw in an earlier part of this video. So honestly, I found this spread most useful for the office hours portion of it. So high school viewers, if there are any, sorry. But yeah, I think it's really useful to have all this information in one place, because when I'm planning for my week, which I do in my bullet journal obviously, it's really nice to just be able to flip back to one page and see when each professor has office hours instead of flipping back to each individual syllabus. Because I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes lose those, or I put them in different places, and it's just simpler to go back to one page. So here I am writing in some fake classes, because internet safety is a thing. I'm not actually in an accounting class, but this is just how I would fill out the spread. That's how I've actually filled it out since I filmed this video. So yes, just kind of simple table. You can leave everything like that if you want to, if you're feeling more minimalist, but if you want it to be artsy and aesthetic and all that stuff, you can add washi tape like I did here, and I wanted it to kind of match that semester at a glance, so that's why I flipped back there a second ago. I'm using that same blue washi tape and just kind of making it, I don't know, I guess I thought this was pretty. It's whatever you want it to be. If you don't want to make it fancy, if you just want to write a table and you don't even want to color it, that works. It serves its purpose that way, you know. But then if you want to add doodles and you know, make it fancy, go for it. I don't know. I thought this was pretty. I also thought it was a good way to pass the time, and I also thought it would look kind of cool on a time lapse. So that's another reason I did it. And then I'm just adding some more washi tape on the other side to kind of make it match, make it more cohesive. Okay, I just want to pause here quickly and say that the August plan with me that I posted kind of implies that I do all my planning in one day in one fell swoop. That's not at all how I do it. As you'll see here, it's a different day. I have coffee and I'm doing a completely different spread, and that's typically how I plan. I don't do it all at once. I kind of do it in chunks. Sometimes I do it when I'm in class. I don't recommend that because then I don't remember the lectures that I'm supposed to remember. But sometimes I'm bored and it's nice to pull out my bullet journal and like kind of doodle a bit. It's probably not smart, you know, I'm working on it. Anyway, so here I'm doing a time budget spread. This is one that I haven't done before, but I kind of thought it would be fun to do because I'm going to be super busy this semester and I want to have kind of a plan of attack before I do it. Here I'm drawing a pretty tragic circle I kind of fixed it with some extra sketchy lines. So I'm making that into a clock, just sort of decorative for the title. So the way this works is I have 3 columns, necessary tasks, and then time needed and time remaining. So we start with 24 hours in the day, and you can see the different tasks I have on the side and how much time I'm devoting to them. So, and then I'm flipping back here, I'm going back to my timetable. It looks different because I wrote in my course codes and I covered them up with washi tape because I didn't want them on the internet. So I'm adding up the number of hours of class I have each day, and then I am figuring out the average. So for the purposes of the time budget, I want to know average amounts of time. So I spend an average of 5.6 hours in class every day, and I spend probably an average of 1 hour per day running, an average of 6.5. I know that from like tracking my sleep over the years, and some of these are, I guess, history based. Like I know I sleep about 6.5 hours a night. Some are more goal based, so I know that I want to practice clarinet for an hour every day and piano for half an hour. So I'm using this both as kind of a reminder of what I do, and also, as you can see here, a way to set goals. So for example, I set aside 1.25 hours for meals. I don't want to cut those short. And right here, I need to remember not to sacrifice sleep because it's important. The last page I set up here was a dorm planning spread. And this is honestly just a page full of doodles of different things that you want to put in your dorm room. So because of that, it's super individualized. I doodled this little tea cart that my roommate and I want to do because we wanted to have a little tea station. And then I also doodled like the different things that I was planning on putting on our shelves because I wanted to plan that out. I doodled out kind of a photo display, and I knew like where I wanted to put certain things like my water pitcher and my tea kettle and all that. And then I did sort of the same thing with my desk here on this sticky note. I did a little desk plan spread just so I know where I want to put different things like a calendar, my light, this little bud vase thing that I have. And honestly, this planning might not be the smartest because I don't know for sure that all of these things are going to work out. I don't know if I'll be able to loft my bed in this way. I don't know if I'll be able to fit both of those storage things under my bed, but I'm kind of impatient. I wanted to just sort of get the spread done and have fun doing doodles, so that's what I did. This is the actual practical part of the spread, and it's a little floor plan thing. I got this idea from my roommate, so shout out to Kate. This is a great idea. I'm using pencil for this part because I don't know really if our beds are going to go in these places. We might want to change them, we might want to keep them that way. So yeah, that's it.